Yeah.
I mean, that's not how they would describe it, but that,
Yeah, yeah. If we wait for when we die, then what happens is that we create a picture. You see, and the picture can be disastrous because we always get what we picture. See,
death, we create the...
we create pictures of an afterlife. There is no afterlife. There's only now, for eternally. You see, this is something that the mind can't understand. We think of an afterlife, we think of reincarnation, we think of this, we think of that. That doesn't mean these things are not valid at some point, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is now. Awareness is all that there is. This is the reality. Once we begin to recognize that, then everything becomes clear. Everything becomes clear. You see? You don't wait for, oh, when I die, this happens. There's no such thing. There is no time when you die, because we have a concept of when we die, but then we are dying before we're dying in a way, like in a suffering way. We create a certain condition. But see, the fear of death and the fear of dying are not exactly the same. If you're going on an airplane and going to jump off a parachute, you begin to think of, what if I die? Okay, so you take precautions, make sure the parachute is safe and everything is okay, blah blah blah. That is okay because at the moment. But the fear of death is not the fear of dying itself. Okay, the fear of death is with you all the time when you don't know who you are. It's with you all the time. What is the fear of death? Okay, every fear, every resistance, everything that offends you, everything that makes you protect yourself. Everything that makes you say, oh, how dare you talk to me like that? Whatever. Lack of love, rejection of love, rejection. That is a fear of death. A fear of death is anything that brings fear. Any form of fear comes from the fear of death, and it's with you most of the time. When you realize there is no death because you just are. You are this moment eternally. You see? Then it's a matter of the body dropping, but there is no fear of death. When the fear of death goes, see, that's the awakening to your true self.
So fear of death would be all self-hatred.
Yes, very good. Very good. It's a form of self-loathing. Yes, exactly. Because fear of death is fear of living. They're both the same. You see? Opposites become one. And in oneness, there is no fear of death, there is no fear of living. But you see, in oneness, there is no existing, and also non-existence either. There's just is. Now, we cannot understand it with the mind, of course.
Okay,
but
in the isness, if there's someone suffering, let's you go to Africa and the baby's there.
Then you have to look at yourself and say, I must be suffering too. You see? But if you see a baby suffering, the thought that the baby is suffering is not the issue. You go and do something about it. That's compassion.
Okay, but
if you can, yeah.
If you can't.
Then don't think about it if you can't.
Don't think about it.
No. If you can't be of help, you're only dealing with your own suffering. See, the reason we see suffering, oh my goodness, in Africa and in these places there's so much suffering. Why are you thinking about it? You're creating your own suffering. Because you are suffering, it makes you conscious of them suffering. But the fact is that we are here now. Okay? And all we're aware of is this aware space that we are here now. Now, if somebody is in the room suffering, then we do something about it. But we don't think, oh, I must fix that, or they are suffering. You don't even say they're suffering. You just automatically reach out. You see? That reaching out is called love. It's called compassion. Yeah. But to think of others is simply to be caught in yourself. Okay? So this is how oneness works. The less you think, the more loving and fruitful and useful you can be. The more you think, the less you can be useful, because you get caught. Okay, so are there any questions?
So thinking about what masquerades, I guess, as charitable works and that kind of thing is actually self-absorption?
Well, no, not necessarily. It depends upon your dharma. If this is something you love to do, then it's fine. But if you think you're going to fix people through it, if you think you are a wonderful giver, then of course it goes back to, ego. You see? But if it's something you love doing because it's you, that is simply your dharma. You know what I mean by dharma? It's your activity in life. I did not ask to be doing what I'm doing now. I love it, but I never thought I'd be doing this. Most of my training was in phys ed, you know. So, and I was a physiotherapist before I had an experience with Bhagavan. So we never know, you know, how life will act through us, what it will make us do. But all we can do is we do what we love to do.
Because I remember from a tape of Adyashanti that he mentioned something about our natural state is one of service.
Yes.
As beings here together.
As being here. But what is service?
Yeah.
If you go in the elevator and you smile at people with a loving, and really, really mean it with love, that's giving service. You can make somebody's day happier just by giving them a look of love.
It's a natural expression.
It's a natural expression of love. Service and love are one and the same thing. You see? Yeah. Giving of yourself. Yeah. And we go back to oneness.